Welcome back, class. Today we're going to be talking about two-step conversions. Go ahead and take out your math journal and title it Two-Step Conversions. Alright, two-step conversions are very similar to single-step conversions. The difference is we are going to have to use our reference chart and use two lines from our reference chart in order to solve the conversion. Okay? So we're just going to write that so we can remember what a two-step conversion is. We need to be able to use two lines on the math chart to convert from one measurement to another. And we'll see what that looks like in just a minute. Okay, take out your conversion chart. We're going to use it to help us convert from unit to unit. Now, like I said, since we're doing two-step conversions, we are going to have to use two lines from our conversion chart. We're going to step right into some examples and do a couple together, and then I'll have you do one on your own. First example. We want to know how many pints are in 8 gallons. So we're looking for pints in 8 gallons. Now, if we look at our reference chart, you might see here, we don't have anything that says gallons and pints. We have gallons and quarts. We have quarts and pints, but we don't have anything that has gallons and pints. This is why we need to do a two-step conversion. So what I want to do is I'm first going to look at where I'm starting with. I know I have gallons. I'm told that I have 8 gallons. Well, I can change those gallons into quarts. So I'm going to have to change up my conversion. 8 gallons is equal to how many quarts? I can do that because I know that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So I'm going to use that. 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Now, I have units on top of units. This is what we've done in class already. So, if I look at my setup here, I'm looking, are my numbers on top of each other or diagonal? Well, they're diagonal from each other. So that means we are going to be multiplying. So I set up my problem. 8 times 4. Well, what is 8 times 4? It's 32. That means 8 gallons is equal to 32 quarts. But I have not solved for my pints yet. I know how many quarts it is. So I know that 32 quarts was equal to that 8 gallons. So I want to know how many pints that is equal to. So now I'm looking for quarts to pints. Well, if we look at our reference chart, I do have a conversion that tells me quarts to pints. So I know that if I line up my units, quarts and quarts, pints and pints, I know that 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So now I can solve this. My units are diagonal from each other. I'm sorry, my numbers are diagonal from each other. That means I am multiplying. So 32 times 2. Well, 32 times 2 is saying like 32 plus 32, which gives me 64. Okay? So that means I have 64 pints, which is my answer. Example number 2. I'm going to try and convert 25 kilometers, and I want to know how many centimeters is it equal to. So I look at my reference charts. I have kilometers right here, and I have centimeters down here. I do not have kilometers with centimeters in the same row. That means this is a two-step conversion. So the first thing that I want to do is look for my kilometers and change it to whatever I can change it to that will get me to centimeters. Well, I can change it to meters. So that's what I'm going to do first. I want to take my 25 kilometers and change it to meters. Well, looking at my reference chart, I know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Now, this is a power of 10. So when we get to solving for this, we're going to be able to use our power of 10 strategy. So I'm looking at my numbers. Are they diagonal from each other, or are they on top of each other? They're diagonal. That means I'm going to multiply. Okay, set up your question. I have 25 times 1,000. Well, if I have 25, I can move my decimal 3 places to the right, and I'm left with 25,000 meters. Now, that only got me up to meters. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for centimeters. So now you have to change that to centimeters. So I have 25,000 meters, and I want to find out how many centimeters that is. Okay, I look at my reference chart. I know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. I look at my numbers. They are diagonal from each other. That means I'm going to multiply. I have 25,000 times 100. It's a power of 10. It has 2 zeros. So when I multiply that out, I have 25,000 decimals at the end, and I'm going to move it twice and add zeros. So my number ends up having 5 zeros, which is 2,500,000 centimeters. That is a lot of centimeters, but that is our answer. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to try and work out the next 2 problems. First problem, I want you to tell me, if I have 7 gallons, how many pints do I have? Problem number 2, if I have 7 kilometers, how many centimeters do I have? And final question, if I have 5 yards, how many inches do I have? Work those out. When you're ready, hit the play button and we'll go through each one together. Alright, now that you've worked them out, let's check. So, first problem was 7 gallons is equal to how many pints? Well, if you look at your reference chart, I cannot go from gallons to pints directly. I need to go from gallons to quarts first. So 7 gallons is equal to how many quarts? So I look at my reference chart and I know that 4 quarts are equal to 1 gallon. Now, I notice that my numbers are diagonal from each other, which means we're going to multiply. So I have 7 times 4, which equals 28, and that's in quarts. Now, I'm not done yet because I was looking for pints. So I have a new problem. 28 quarts is equal to how many pints? Well, if I look at my reference chart, I know that 2 pints is equal to 1 quart. Now again, my numbers are diagonal from each other. So that means I'm multiplying. So I have 28 times 2. I can do that on the side. I could also just add 28 twice, but I'm going to multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I get 56 pints, which is my final answer. Number 2. 7 kilometers is equal to how many centimeters? Well, if I look at my conversion charts, I know that there's nothing that gives me kilometers and centimeters in the same line. So this is a two-step conversion. So if I start with kilometers, I can change my kilometers to meters. So I know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Looking at my numbers, I see that they are diagonal. That means we're multiplying. So 7 times 1,000. This gives me 7,000. And that is in meters. I have not solved my problem though. I'm looking for centimeters. So I need to start another conversion. 7,000 meters is equal to how many centimeters? Well, I know that 1 meter is made up of 100 centimeters. So, looking at my numbers, they are diagonal from each other. So again, I'm multiplying, and I have 7,000 times 100. Well, I can use my powers of 10 method. I know that 7,000, the decimals at the end, I'm going to have to move it 2 times to the right. So now I have this 7 with 5 zeros. So I get 700,000 centimeters. That is my final answer. Last problem, problem number 3. I am going to be converting 5 yards into inches. Now, on my conversion chart, I do not have anything that goes from yards to inches, but I do have yards to feet. So I'm going to start there. 5 yards is equal to how many feet? Well, I know that 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. Looking at my numbers, they are diagonal. I am multiplying again. So, 5 times 3 gives me 15, and that gives me feet. So I've not solved my problem. I have feet, but I need inches. So I start a new conversion. I have 15 feet, and I want to find out how many inches I have. Well, I know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now, I look at my numbers and they are diagonal from each other. So, I am multiplying, and I have 15 times 12. I can do that on the side. 15 times 12. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I drop my 0, cross out what I've used. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. I add those up. I get 180. So this is equal to 180 inches. Final answer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you later to do our guided practice. Thank you, and sorry for the raspy voice today.